please introduce yourself to the lovely people on my side that may not know who you are. Yeah.
So I'm Alice Mulo. Those are my full names, my given names, Alice Mulo. But for my work, I go by Alice Mulo. So if you see something that's in line with visual arts and it's Alice Mulo, that's definitely me. And I'm from Lusaka, from Zambia, and I love art. I'm just a lover of art, and that's why I'm here to discuss art, to just chat about art, and to just enjoy the conversation. So I think if you go to my page, we'd get to know more about me. But in a nutshell, I'm a creative who loves art and everything that art has to offer. So
nice. Oh wow. Yeah, definitely people go and check out her profile. There's some amazing pieces on there. She's just amazing. Award-winning and a lovely person. So I'm just gonna ask straight away, when did you decide that this was your career path, like you're going down this route?
You know, it's so funny because just the other day someone asked me something in those lines, and it just got me thinking to the time when I actually decided I'm going to do this. It's been a roller coaster because I'm an economist by profession. So I did a degree. I have a degree in economics, but I am very passionate about art. So I said, you know what? There's always this thing that I think as a creative you get to know that there's something a little bit different. There's something a little bit different about you, and that's where everything started from. So one time I was actually doing some field work in Mumbo town, and on this particular day I was feeling so drained, and I was feeling it weigh down on me. I knew I was doing what I wanted to do, but not what I need to do, not what I love to do. So I was doing some project there, and this day I just woke up in such a low mood, and as I was going through doing the field work, I stopped somewhere because I see things a little bit different. So I stopped somewhere and I saw like this field of like a burnt field. So like they were clearing for like the next cycle for the farming. So as I'm looking at it, I see this like there was like burnt stuff. There was some that were like completely burnt off, and then others were partially burnt, and others were not burnt at all. And in that moment, I saw myself in specifically the one that was partially burnt, and I looked at it and I was saying, you know what? If this plant that's partially burnt can stand in this field of all this that's going on, then I think there's still a chance for me to make things work. Like there's just certain moments where you just feel like so much is happening to you. Things are just going, things are not going the way you planned them. And I saw myself in that plant. It's so weird because I find inspiration in so many weird things. And I saw myself in that plant. And I stood there for a moment and I was just like, wow, I think I know what I need to do. And when I left that, and I took a picture of that plant, I have it like in my collection of my work. And when I took a picture of that, I called it scorched because I felt like I was scorched. But then I told myself, like, I can still stand and I can still make things work for myself. So when I got back home that day, I knew what I needed to do. And I got my camera, I got my phone camera, I got like this old camera, and I just started to learn, like, what can I do? I want to find like my path in this artistic field and just express myself and bring all these ideas. And it started from there, and I haven't looked back ever since. It's almost going to 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing that a field can actually inspire somebody to just like completely change everything up and say, I'm going down this route.
Can you imagine?
Another question is, what does being an artist mean to you? Like, like people would ask, what is an artist? But I think it's quite clear. But what does being an artist mean to you?
Being an artist for me is following your passion. Waking up every day, following that dream, and just being open-minded and just knowing that things don't come easy.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking from a point of experience. I started this knowing that it's not going to be easy, but I've just been pushing. I've just been going forward. I've just been creating opportunities for myself, just diving in and just doing what I can do for what I love, for what gives me a certain level of fulfillment. You know, so for me, being an artist is following your passion, knowing what gives you that fulfillment in the slightest of things. In the slightest of things. Whatever can just push your boundaries, go for it. And yeah, for me, that's and expressing yourself as well and sharing the idea to the world. For me, that's what being an artist is.
Man, wow. That's amazing. Like, thank you. I can actually, like, I feel that. Like, when you said being able to express, you know, like, I think that's a big part about being an artist. So even when I think about a lot of the athletes that I used to train, I kept saying, like, when you on the track, express yourself.
Yeah.
Let the world see what's inside you. You know, so just let it out. And you find that
yourself.
Yeah, it's just the crazy thing. But yeah, I'll move on to the next question. Yeah, which of the greats did you study, and who are you watching right now? So firstly, like, which of the greats do you think that you've looked at and been like, oh, okay, I really like what they've done?
So this is where I think that question I would also line it up in, like, who inspires me or what inspires me.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, like, in all honesty, I do not have any specific person. I get inspired by, like, the most weird of situations. So I don't have any specific person I would point out to say this person. But what I can highlight is an individual who's living their life and who's following their dreams and who's doing everything that they can possible to achieve what they've set out to. That person inspires me. I don't need to know them by name. A situation, through conversations with people. That's how I get inspired. That's how I get inspired when I see people doing what they love to do. So today I could be inspired by a marketeer. Tomorrow I'll be inspired by a soccer player. Tomorrow I'll be inspired by a musician. Tomorrow I'll be inspired by a TV personality, because inspiration is everywhere. Inspiration is everywhere you look. There's inspiration. And tomorrow, one moment, one of my another weird moment I experienced was I was inspired by a butterfly. Literally, a butterfly. And I was sitting in the car, and this butterfly came in, and it sat on my hand, and it had a broken wing. Like, it had one okay wing, and the other one was broken in almost half. And when I looked at that butterfly, like, I stayed still for a while, and I kept looking at it, trying to see what it's trying to do. And it was trying to fly. And it kept struggling because one wing was not okay. It kept trying to fly until it managed to fly away. And I'm just there like, wow. Because for me, I'm in tune with nature. So I find inspiration in so many things. And believe it or not, I have pictures of that butterfly. I have pictures of it. Because for me, that moment, I related it to my life. I always like to relate what happens in nature with who I am as an individual. And in that moment, I looked at that butterfly and said, wow, it really pushed. It really pushed even when it was not in its perfect condition. So, I hope.
Oh, man, I'm just loving this, because it's like, for a lot of people, they expect quite generic answers like, oh yeah, I'm inspired by Picasso and you're kind of like, nah, man, like life, like everyday life. That's what inspires me. That's like true artistry, is being able to share your life lessons and your life. It's like bloggers are meant to be artists if you think about it, because they're meant to share their lives.
Exactly.
But it's not about sharing someone else's story; it's sharing yours. I love. So far, I'm in awe. Thank you. How do you sell your art or make money from it, basically, in this day and age, the way things are set up?
Okay, so ordinarily, so I'm going to answer this in like two parts. Ordinarily, you would want to put your work out there, advertise, create more work, venture into different projects, get commissions and all that. That's like some of the ways that people make money from the art. So when I started it, and I think this is where like the knowledge I've gotten from my economics comes in handy. I gave myself a period of 5 years, and in that 5 years, I told myself I'm not going to focus on the selling. I'm not going to focus on the money that I'm getting in, that I would want to get out of the art. So I've spent all this time perfecting my craft in preparation for when I will intentionally sell my work. I don't intentionally sell my work. I don't advertise my work for sale. I don't. If you go to my page, you won't see anything saying stuff for sale. But that's an intentional move. It's not lack of not wanting to sell. Is it necessary at the moment? Necessary in the sense that you want to make money, yes. But what in the long run? What do I want to get out of my work? Is it something that's going to be like one hit wonder? Today I sell, tomorrow I don't. So this is where I've taken a back route of trying to grow it trying to grow the brand, trying to grow the business, trying to grow Alice Mulo, trying to grow myself, trying to grow the craft, trying to perfect it, even if it won't be perfect, but trying to just explore as much as I can explore. So I have sold some works, and I've done it through exhibitions. So I've sold my work through exhibitions, but it's not my intentional focus. My intentional focus is to make sure I am good at what I am offering and what I am leaving as an imprint on earth. So that tomorrow someone says, Alice Mulo, Alice Mulo. So now I get things like, Alice Mulo, the artist. And I'm like, okay. So I guess we're getting somewhere. So I got that type of a response. And I know I am doing something in line with what I had set out to do.
Yeah. I think a lot of younger artists struggle because there's a perception that if you're not totally engrossed in the artistic world, like somebody asked me the other day, how do you make being an artist sustainable? And I said, you do whatever is necessary in order to do what you love. So working in a restaurant for a couple of hours a week, and I get to spend the other hours creating music, I'm successful if you ask me, because I'm still making music. I feel like young people put this pressure on themselves that, if I'm not wearing the chains and I'm not looking the part, I'm not driving the cars, I haven't made it. But it's like you have to define your own version of success to you. And when you're growing a brand, you can't jump on trends. You can't be like, this is what's trending, I'm on this. This is what's trending, I'm on this. No, there's no longevity in that. You'll literally be here today, gone tomorrow. So the easiest thing I found to do over the whole course of like all of this, like for the past, I don't know how many years, 15 years, I've been kind of doing this thing. Same thing is like, okay, I want to put out so much work. I want to write so many scripts. I want to write so many songs. I want to act in so many movies. And I've always had like kind of like a job on the side to help see me through hard times. And in the past few years, I've been blessed with a few shows here and there before COVID, and they kind of sustained me a little bit better. I've managed to actually become an artist, like where people are like, even Jerome, same thing. yeah, that guy's quite creative, man. Like, yeah, he's done this movie and he's done that show and it's not easy. You're right. It's hard. It's hard. But we're here because we're taking our time with it and we understand that it's a lot bigger than one piece of art.
Exactly.
It's the whole thing. It's the whole story. It's all the pieces combined. It's all those conversations. It's all those talks. It's all these conversations. It's the whole thing. That's the brand.
It's the whole package.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, I constantly have these conversations with other people because they ask me, so how are you selling your art, or how you do? You probably won't even know I've sold my art, but I have done so many projects that are way beneficial than selling that art at that particular time.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to see a publication where my name is. That's history.
Yeah.
That's history.
Yeah.
To say sold, for me to write a post and say sold, that's not the history I'm looking for in the moment. That's not what I want to see. Like last year, I set my goals. I start, okay, so 2020, this is what I intend to achieve. And once I achieve that, I have succeeded. Whether I sold or I didn't sell, if I tick off what I had stated as a goal for the following year, then I have succeeded. And I can give a very practical example. At the end of 2018, as we were going into 2019, I set a goal that I'm going to exhibit in foreign countries. I said I'm going to exhibit in a foreign country. And I said I don't know where, and I don't know when, and I don't know how, but all I know is I'm going to have to achieve this goal. And believe it or not, 2019, I exhibited in South Africa, I exhibited in Australia, and I exhibited in Egypt. And I was just like, yes, I have succeeded.
I have succeeded.
So that is how I deal with that type of a scenario.
Man, okay. I love this. We're kind of like, I had a list of these questions because I wanted to just establish how the art is working right now for you. But what advice would you give to any upcoming artist? And by artist, we just mean creative all around. Like I know in Africa, people think, especially in Zambia, I've seen artists are people that paint or draw.
Yeah, or a musician.
Yeah, or a musician. Full stop. Chapwa. But the truth is, as you have proven, that there's different forms of media that can be used in order to express yourself, and an artist is anybody that is basically expressing themselves. So what advice would you give to those people that are trying to express themselves?
My first and most, I think, consistent approach and advice that I think I would give to the next person is know yourself first. Know who you are and know what you stand for. Know your worth. And by knowing your worth, when it gets hard, your worth serves you. Because you're going to remember why you are doing what you are doing. So know yourself, know why you are doing what you're doing, know what you love, and don't wait. And when I say don't wait, I mean don't wait for an art that says, oh, there's a call, so now I'm going to apply. No. Approach, whether it's an if you feel you can affiliate yourself with an organization, approach them. If you feel you can collaborate with someone and you have what it takes to collaborate with that person, because you have to be prepared. So preparation comes before the opportunities. Don't go looking for opportunities when you're not prepared. So prepare yourself and create the opportunities while other opportunities come your way. So that way, you can't say, I want to collaborate, and you're not ready, because that collaboration can be tomorrow. And when that collaboration comes, what do you have to offer? You have to be ready. And you have to offer it to the best of your ability, because that is what you love. You cannot neglect what you love. I have this quote that I come up with quotes. And this is how I self-inspire myself and self-talk myself. So I always tell myself, no matter how hard it gets, show up for your dream every day.
Amen.
Show up in what you're reading. Show up in what you're watching. Show up in what energy you're taking in. Show up in what you are giving your energy to. Show up 100%, because every time you show up for your dream, it will pay you. It will pay you back in ways that you don't expect and you don't even think of. But it will always come through for you at your lowest point, especially because things get hard. But at that point, when you're at that low moment, it will show up for you then. So, because you've been showing up for it all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Talking about quotes, mine has been push for a lot of my life. I came across it. I think someone said, pray until success happens. And at the time, I wasn't very prayerful, to be honest with you. But then I read it, and I said, okay, fine, push. And for me, it's always been persevere, until success happens. Because I feel like a lot of people get it twisted. A lot of people will always say, either I'll put it in God's hands. But unless you are active, God's not going to do nothing.
Action,
so for me, it's about action. You have to persevere. As you said, you have to show up. And also prepare. I said this to my partner the other day. I said to her, are you in the right headspace before you even get to the table? Like, have you prepared yourself psychologically to say, this is what I'm going to the table to do? When you're showing up for your dreams, it's very easy for people to actually to lose themselves in a lot of it. Like, I've seen a lot of people go to sit down and they're trying to do something and they're not inspired. But then it's like, what were you doing just before you sat down? It's like, did you say willingly before that, okay, I know that tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to have to do this. So the night before, I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm not going to bed at 12. I'm going to make sure that all my pens or my things are all in place, and my paintbrushes, and I've got all the necessary components to put this masterpiece together. Like, did you prep yourself knowing that you're going to go to the table? Did you prepare, or did you just say, I'm showing up, came to the table and thought, what's going on? Yeah. Doesn't work like that. So thank you for that. Like, thank you for actually openly stating it. Like, show up. Like, do show up, and as I said, as you said, preparation, it's like you have to put the work in for things to come your way.
Always.
On art, where do you feel African art is right now?
Oh, I feel like African art is very diverse, and people are becoming even more and more like daredevils. Like, they're just going for it. They're just going for it without leaving any stone unturned. And this is the time to actually even prepare more, because what comes after such a transition is you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah. You
don't want to be the one that starts preparing when others are now harvesting.
Yeah.
So African art right now is coming with a force. It's coming with a force that you need to jump on. You need to dive on that force as well, because when the others elevate, it will be hard for you to catch up.